morning, Hornets. Welcome to today's episode of Bgsn. I'm Garrett.
And I'm Alyssa. Today we'll be taking a look at the Learning Garden and speeding.
But first, here is John Pasianos with your weather forecast.
Thank you, Garrett, and hello, Hornets. I'm sorry to lay the bad news, but this weekend will not be sunny. Today there will be a high of 64 and a low of 48 with showers all day, ending tomorrow at 7 a.m. Tomorrow there will be a high of 63 and a low of 40, and it will be partly cloudy. On Saturday, it will be raining with a high of 59 and a low of 42. And finally, on Sunday, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 56 and a low of 41. That's all for your weekend weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, John. Now we're going to throw it over to Jordan for sports.
Hello, Hornets, and welcome back to sports. On Tuesday, both the boys and girls track teams finished first against Triton Central and Cardinal Ritter. Their next meet is tomorrow. Last night, the boys baseball got a home win versus Park Tudor with Seth Walters being the winning pitcher. The Hornets are now 2-0 at home. Tonight, varsity softball has a game at Roncalli, and varsity baseball will host Triton Central, but the weather isn't looking super great. So fans, players, and parents should be checking and listening for updates on the games. Recently, Beech Grove offensive lineman Josh Fryer received an offer to play at the University of Alabama. This is one of the biggest offers he's gotten yet, and Bama is constantly a national championship contender. Keep in mind that Josh is getting all these offers, and he is only a junior here at Beech Grove High School. The NFL draft happens tonight after months of teams inspecting their potential picks, and the Arizona Cardinals have the first pick in the draft. And many of them think they will go with the quarterback Kyler Murray, and the Colts have the 26th pick in the draft. And experts predict a defensive lineman or maybe even a wide receiver to give Luck more weapons. However, you never know what will go down with things getting crazy when the teams are on the clock. It begins tonight at 8 p.m. In NHL news, the playoffs are into the second round as well as almost the Hurricanes and Capitals heading into Game 7. Whoever wins will compete with the Islanders and the Blues in the Stars play, followed by the Avalanche and the San Jose Sharks. And the Columbus and Blue Jackets and the Boston Bruins. These games should be very good, even happening this weekend. Stay tuned for an update next week. The NBA playoffs are underway, and Giannis and Harden are still in the run for the MVP. I went out and got more information.
The NBA playoffs are underway with the first round coming to a close in the West and already over in the East. The Clippers won last night to keep the series alive 3-2 to the Warriors. Whoever wins plays the Houston Rockets and James Harden. And the Denver Nuggets have a 3-2 lead over the Spurs. Whoever advances will compete against Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers. For the MVP race, James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo are the front runners. Giannis has performed amazing so far this postseason, while Harden has struggled but still led his team to a 4-1 win. Harden averaged a triple-double for 36 points during the season. I talked to Jay Elliott and asked him what he predicted to happen in the playoffs and who he thought was going to win the MVP race in the NBA.
Boston's going to go into the finals and play the Warriors. I think that they're going to go on. They're going to play Milwaukee, but I think Kyrie's experience in the playoffs, I think it's going to help them out, put them above the Bucks, put them in the championship. Yeah. I think Harden's going to win the MVP. Like 36 points a game the rest of the season. There's no way he's not going to win MVP. If he doesn't, I don't know. It's crazy.
I then talked to Gavin Hess and asked him what he thought was going to happen in the playoffs, and he also gave me his idea of who was going to be the MVP.
I could see the Bucks and the Celtics in the next round. It's going to be a good matchup, but I see the Bucks winning in 7. In the West, I see the Warriors beating the Clippers, probably in Game 7 too, because Lou Williams is a dog, and Montrezl Harrell, and the Clippers are a pretty good team. But in the finals, I see it being Golden State versus the Bucks. And since Golden State is the best team in the world, I could see them winning in 5 to 6 games, unless Giannis averages like 35 points a game. But then I see the MVP of the season being James Harden, because he just had a great season, averaging 30-plus points and all the shots, and taking his team to the playoffs like this. I just don't see how he can't be the MVP.
That's all for the NBA playoffs and who people think will win the MVP race. I'm Jordan Brickley for Beech Grove Student News.
That's all for sports. Back to Alyssa and Garrett at the desk.
Thanks, Jordan. Joe Biden has now announced his run for presidency in the video he posted to Twitter, where he takes direct aim at President Trump and how Biden thinks that Trump will alter America if he gets reelected. Good Morning America has a small snippet of the video. Let's take a look.
Joe Biden jumping into the 2020 race for president with a stark and stunning video announcement. Images of white supremacists marching in Charlottesville, framing his vision of what's at stake in this election.
We're in the battle for the soul of this nation. The core values of this nation, our standing in the world, our very democracy, Everything that has made America America is at stake. That's why today I'm announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
With Biden joining the Democratic Party, that means there are 20 candidates for the Democrats that are trying to go against Donald Trump in the 2020 presidential election. Biden is starting to campaign, saying his presidency will be a Biden-Obama Democrat, and he is aiming to work with the working-class white voters and the younger voters that backed Obama in historic numbers back in 2008 and 2012.
Garrett, have you bought a yearbook yet?
No, actually, Alyssa, I haven't yet.
Well, you should. They're only $45 and they will only accept cash or card until tomorrow. After that, they will only accept cash, so make sure you go buy one if you haven't yet. A lot of hard work and effort has gone into the yearbook this year.
Okay, Alyssa, I just might have to do that. If you have been in the back to school, you've probably seen the garden beds back there.
Here's Lainey Wilson with Mr. Bullock on more information on the Learning Gardens.
This week, I met with Mr. Bullock to ask him a few questions about Beech Grove's Learning Gardens, such as what they are and where they are located.
The purpose of Learning Garden, the name kind of speaks for itself. It's to give students the opportunity to learn various plant cycles as far as germination, how to grow produce, how to maybe grow food at their own home or soil structure. So it encompasses about everything we talk about in agriculture classes. So we have a learning garden at the high school that is back by the football entrance, back by the pool locker rooms. If you've ever walked through there, you've seen it. The middle school has a learning garden, South Grove has a learning garden, and Hornet Park also has a learning garden.
I then asked Mr. Bullock who maintains the Learning Garden and how students can get involved.
So the Learning Garden is maintained pretty much exclusively using my plant and soil classes. Occasionally we'll take other agriculture classes outside and work in the Learning Garden. During the summer, FFA members utilize the Learning Garden here at South Grove as well as Hornet Park for their SAE projects. So the best way for students to get involved with the Learning Garden is to sign up for an agriculture class, especially plant and soil class. Beyond that, students could become involved with FFA and they could certainly be assigned an individual project working with the Learning Garden.
Lastly, I asked Mr. Bullock what crops grow in our Learning Garden.
So in the Learning Garden, we typically do 3 different rotations of crops. So in the springtime, we would do cool season crops. So right now you'll see things germinating such as kale, lettuce, carrots, peas, and radishes. In the summertime, we'll go to more of a summer crop, tomatoes, peppers, zucchini, cucumbers. And then in the fall, we'll do another rotation of cool season crops just as we did in the springtime.
If you are interested in learning more about the Learning Garden, please contact Mr. Bullock. This has been Lainey Wilson. Thank you for watching.
Students, a lot of you here are starting to drive. Here's Marcus McKinney with some tips about driving and road safety. None of these clips were recorded by the driver of this automobile.
Students, this is a reminder to not go speeding down any school streets, any side streets, any highways, any street that you might be on, because not only does it put yourself in danger, it puts the others around you in danger. Even the most experienced drivers crash, and it's just not safe. Also, you could get a ticket, yours truly, or stop at stop signs, use your turn signals. Yeah, just follow the speed limit, stay safe, drive safe, and that's all. Back to the desk.
That is all for today's dose of Beech Grove Student News.
Make sure to click that bell icon to get notified when we go live. I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Garrett Norcross. Students, have a thriving Thursday.